Hey Libra, welcome to your monthly reading for March. Let's dive in and see what March has in store for you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Messages for Libra for the month of March. Ooh, that came out quick. All right, we've got South Node, comfort zone, resistance, fear of the new, clinging to old ways or situations. Okay, so this is an energy of just saying there's something kind of playing out in your life that might be a repeat pattern that you may be noticing or just kind of becoming aware of, or maybe you've already kind of been aware of this energy playing out. It's usually something that, we just kind of find like, oh, why are we always dealing with this? And so if you find yourself saying that in any situation in your life, whether it's career, relationship, family, friendships, whatever it may be, is there something here that is playing out that has to do with, past energies that are really needing to be acknowledged and released, okay, and processed through. You need to learn the lesson from it, integrate it so that you can move forward in life and attract in new positive things, okay, so that you can kind of move beyond this pattern, whatever keeps repeating out. But it looks like you might be becoming aware of some of these things. And if you aren't, then if you just kind of take a minute to get quiet and kind of reflect back a little bit on your life, you're going to start to see some things that are playing out and repeating themselves, kind of like you're on Groundhog's Day. You're just going to kind of notice that these things keep happening over and over and over and over again. If you keep attracting in the same, kind of romantic relationship, same kind of personality, same kind of person, and it just kind of ends the same way, or maybe it triggers, feelings in you that make you act in a type of way that really isn't in alignment with the way that you ideally would like to be, or who you know yourself truly to be. This can be that pattern that you're needing to recognize, or that you might be uncomfortably kind of recognizing now. I have remembrance here. Okay. And remembrance really is a card of just saying, again, look back on the past. It's really, really important for you to take time to kind of just gently, it can, be a process that takes its own time and energy. You go at your own pace, give yourself grace, but it's just saying, hey, it's really important to look back on your life and figure out these patterns. Try to see what they are so that you can see where things have been playing out in your life that are kind of maybe keeping you stuck, or maybe, life is just isn't going the way that you want it to go, but you deserve for it to go better. And so the way to do that and to have better is to do things differently, okay? When we're doing things that we've always done before, and we're expecting different results, it's kind of like the literal definition of like insanity. So, you want to make sure that you're able to acknowledge those things that are creating these situations in your life so that you can learn from them, grow from them, move beyond them, and then attract in a lot better from them. Okay. Let's keep going here. Messages for Libra for the month of March. Yeah, I have shadow and light. So this doesn't surprise me that this energy is coming out here right now. When we're in this energy of kind of doing some past energy work, which is what you're doing here. This is some, shadow work. It's just saying those uncomfortable things that we just don't really want to see, that we kind of hide away from the world, and we don't really a lot of times want to acknowledge ourselves. This is what's playing out here, a little bit of shadow of light. So when we enter into these territories of what doesn't make us feel good, and we're kind of being forced to kind of really see those things, they're being put right in front of our face by the universe. It's saying, hey, we're begging you to shed light on this. We're begging you to take a look at the shadow aspect and work through it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. What we mistake shadow work is that these are things that we maybe don't like about ourselves, that are uncomfortable about ourselves. And we tend to see them as bad or negative, but the reality is that the way that we kind of move beyond these is that we make them our superpower, is that we learn and grow from them in a way that we say, you know what? So what? You know, should I be a jerk to other people and affect them negatively? No. But, that kind of stubbornness in me allows me to set healthy boundaries and stand up for myself and stand firm in them in my relationships. And so it helps me to have, better experiences with people so that they're not just constantly taking advantage of me. So, these things you need to kind of like play them in a different way. So once you acknowledge them, you can kind of redefine them. And that's what the key here is in doing shadow work, is redefining them and embracing those parts of yourself. They are you. We are light and shadow. Whether we like it or not, we are. And so the key is using it to your benefit. Okay. I have spring, everything that blossoms. Okay. So again, this is once you kind of bring those things to light and you kind of, churn the soil there a little bit in your garden of life, is that these things are going to be conducive to new growth. This is going to allow you opportunity to plant new seeds and, get out all of the dead, stuff in that garden so that you can make room for something new. Maybe before just had a regular flower garden and now, you want to grow some vegetables and, see what you can do with that. And so it's important to kind of clear out that garden, toil the soil, fertilize it a little bit, and so that you can have, something that's conducive to new positive growth in that, okay? And so that's what's being asked of you, is to trudge up these things a little bit, and so that you can kind of see them for what they are, shed light on them, and see them in a whole different way, okay? Let's look at your recent past, Libra. Okay, recent past for the month of March for Libra. All right, I have the Hangman. Okay, so this was an energy that might have been, you were feeling a little bit stuck, feeling like things weren't really moving forward. But what happens is the when we're needing to recognize a pattern, we're needing to recognize what's happening in our life that is blocking us, or maybe not, allowing opportunities to come in our way, is that the universe kind of puts the brakes on. And so what they'll do is put you in a little bit of a holding period, and it can feel extremely uncomfortable. Sometimes we're in this hangman period willingly, and sometimes we're in it unwillingly. And so it can be a little bit uncomfortable because we're needing to look at things differently. And usually it's saying, hey, you're looking at the picture and you're noticing some fine details, and that's great and all, but you need to zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture, the picture as a whole, from a whole different perspective, so that you can shed light on these areas of your life that need change. They're kind of begging for change so that you can get new growth, okay? So it looks like you've been in an energy of just kind of standing still a little bit here. Let's look at the present energy for you. I have the Tower. Okay, so the Tower can be a couple of things here. This Tower can be an energy that just kind of suddenly is like a aha and gets you out of that holding energy of the Hangman and says, I finally see it. Like, about time. And so then once you recognize it, you can kind of have that instant clarity. Okay, so this Tower can be an instant clarification on an area which you've been struggling in, and you're seeing it for what it is, and you're also acknowledging it so you can move forward. Or this might be an energy where maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck and stagnant, but you're not really seeing what they're asking you to see in this. So there might be a little bit of resistance to change here. And what will happen sometimes is the universe will step in. A Tower moment will happen in one area of your life or another, or all, and it will clear everything out for you. Okay. So, the way I kind of go about this is by describing it this way is, we either go willingly for change when we know change needs to happen, or we get dragged. And so this is kind of an energy that's telling me that you're kind of in that place. So you're either being kind of dragged along, or you're having that sudden clarity taking place. Let's get a little bit clearer on what's happening here. Let's look at the near future, Libra, and see what exactly is happening. Near future for Libra. All right. I have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so this tells me that this Tower moment, either way, no matter what, whether it's a surprise to you or it's a sudden bout of clarity on your situation and you're getting clear-minded, you're seeing the bigger perspective of things, you're seeing where things are playing out and they're not really, playing out in your favor and where you can make change. The Queen of Swords is really an energy of clarity. And so what she is she's very, very clear on what she wants in her life, and she's very, very clear on what she doesn't want. And so whether you're already getting into this energy and heading that way, and knowing which direction you're going to go, or you're seeing things from a higher perspective, either way, it's just a need to get into that clear mindset so that you can look at that bigger picture like I was talking about earlier, okay? So that way you can zoom out from the details of what's taking place and not get so caught up in them. In the overall energy here, I have the King of Pentacles, and this is telling me again, just kind of taking place, taking things from a really grounded perspective. They may be asking you to get into a place where you're feeling more grounded and stable so that you can get more clear. When things are shifting for us and moving in and out of our lives, and things are happening that either we're doing on our own or they're happening to us in a way that just feels like it's not of our doing, and we're not really willingly having these things change in our lives, is we need to get into this grounded energy either way, and we need to be able to see things from that higher perspective. And in order to do that, to calm that chaos, we need to kind of take a pause, take a step back, and get really grounded in that energy so that we can become very, very clear on it. Okay, so when things are changing in your life, it's making sure that you can look back on it and find the little gems that were hidden all along. from those lessons, because everything in life really is a lesson. And though it may feel like they were just terrible lessons and we never want to repeat them again, well, that's how we don't repeat them, is we find the gems in them. We're very clear about them and we know what went wrong, what could have been done better, and what we're going to do differently. Okay. So that's what the energy is here that's playing out for you in the month of March, Libra. Let's get some advice for you. Advice for Libra for the month of March regarding this situation. All right, we have the Four of Wands. Again, another energy of just kind of being really solid and stable in that foundation. So you might already have achieved this energy with that King of Pentacles energy, where you're really seeing things clearly and you're getting very grounded in your energy and you're just kind of okay with what's happening. You're just kind of rolling, with the punches there. And so with the Four of Wands is your advice. It's really saying, okay, just stay grounded, stay rooted, stay stable, stable, and continue to move through this energy. And once you get really grounded in it, you can just kind of take time to, celebrate the fact of, hey, you know what? I've come this far. Look how much work I've done on myself and look how much better I feel. Okay. So this is an energy of just saying, hey, remember where you're at right now. And, really congratulate yourselves for how far you've come, because these are not easy energies to work through. When you're working through past energies, it can be really uncomfortable. So good for you for, moving beyond these things and seeing them for what they are, so that you can allow for these new opportunities and situations, relationships, jobs, whatever they may be for you to come into your life, and just really, again, have that attitude of gratitude so that you can be thankful for what you already have and celebrate in the fact of where you are. You don't necessarily need to be in a rush of, where I'm going. Maybe you can revel in the fact of, where I am now, and take comfort in that. Let's take a look at what's hidden, Libra, in case there's something that you're not seeing that might bring more clarity to this situation. All right, I have the Death card. Okay, so this is definitely a very significant period of time where things of old are dying away. Maybe old traumas, maybe old triggers, maybe old patterns of behavior, emotional patterns, thoughts, triggers, you name it. It's, falling away in your life right now. And it's letting go of that past so that you can really get into this transformative energy and emerge brand new. So that when you're in a brand new energy, and, not carrying the dead weight of the old, you can really be open to new things, and you are at a higher vibrational level where it's going to magnetize and attract in more high vibe things for you. Okay, so this is a really good energy that's playing out. So whether you're aware of it or not, you've been through a very significant period. So anything that you've lost, fallen away, whether it's people or jobs or other things that have fallen away and out of your life at this time, just rest in knowing that this is all playing out in your favor. This is all playing out in a way that is going to help you gain significant clarity on what it is you want in life, what it is you don't want, and where it is you're going. Okay, things look really positive for you. Let's look at what you don't see coming for the month of March for Libra. What does Libra not see coming in the month of March? Ooh, that one flew out here. Okay, I have the Page of Swords coming out. Okay, so what you don't see coming here in the month of March is just, again, another very significant clarity on things. The Page of Swords to me is just an energy that is a little bit inquisitive, and it gets a bit curious. It starts to kind of like, well, what's next? What can I do now? Looking at the possibilities, being endless. Now that maybe these old things have cleared out of your energy. Here at the bottom of the deck, I have the Magician, and this is telling me that you're really getting curious now and a little bit excited about, what's to come now. You finally moved beyond these things of the old and processed them, accepted them, and now you're going to get into an energy here in March that you're going to start to get excited. You're going to start to kind of look into new things, get really curious again, and start to get inquisitive about, what do I want in my life? And get, take actionable steps on that. You can really create a life that you want to live in all of the ways you want to live it. You just need to be willing to kind of surrender and flow with the energies and allow what needs to fall away, because those things are just no longer in alignment with where you're at. This is really good indication to me that you're leveling up, and this is a good thing. So make sure that you take time to celebrate that fact, revel in that fact, and be grounded in that energy, and just kind of wait and see and allow these things to kind of play out in your life, so that natural curiosity gets piqued, and then you begin to kind of get excited about, what's to come in the future here. So overall, things look really good for you, Libra. I'm really proud of the energy that you're in. It looks like you've done a lot of hard work. Make sure, to pat yourself on the back for that one. That is not an easy feat to do. So congratulations, Libra. Looks like March is going to be a really positive one for you. You've done a lot of hard work. So I'm going to leave it here, but until I see you again, Libra, take care.